Alright, good morning, Earthlings. Alright, man. So I just got done with the Book of Mosiah. He's king of Zemahemla. King Benjamin died. He gave pretty much the plates. He gave all the records. I mean, he's got all the gold plates. He's got all the brass plates. Now there's a lot to cover in this book, so let's get started. All right, so the Nephites and the Lamanites are still fighting. They fight here and there, but then they forget why they're fighting, and then they start fighting over stupid shit about land, the land of Nephi, the land of the Lamanites. They end up actually getting to an agreement, so they stop fighting, and then they backstab each other. I mean, that was just like life. There's certain people that come in there and they're like, hey, God doesn't want you to do this, and they prophesy over, Jesus is coming, and they prophesy, hey, you're wrong, you're doing everything not of God. And they're like, hey, even the Nephites are like, no, you're not of God, and they like kill people, they kill the prophets, and then the seers and stuff like that. Then the Lamanites get mad at the Nephites, and then some battles happen, and then some kings get elected, and then he's King Noah. Now that it's not Noah of the Bible, okay? Let's get that straight. It's Noah of a king. So the Nephites and the Lamanites, they fight over that. They kill their king. They say, all right, Lamanites, and all right, Nephites. They start becoming friends. And then all of a sudden, these high priests of Noah, they ended up betraying him, trying to get him to fight again. So the Nephites and the Lamanites, they fight again, and then they finally find these priests, and he's already has his own fucking land. He's got his own village, So, anyways, then the Nephites and the Lamanites, they end up fighting again. The Lamanites give the power because they don't know about what's going on. So they give some power to this, and the Nephites and Lamanites, they start fighting again, and then they go to Zemahemla. They end up seeing Mosiah's like, hey, dude, you're gonna be in this land, you're gonna worship God, So some of the Lamanites go there, some of the Nephites go there, so it's like the Holy Land, and then they start baptizing in the river of Mormon. This is where Mormon comes in, and so they end up at the end, they end up having the land of Mormon. Now then there's some out of control teenagers. They end up mocking God. God ends up scolding him, making him mute, and then he ends up prophesying. He ends up getting, okay, I'm sorry, God. He ends up straightening his ass up. He ends up preaching to the Nephites. He ends up preaching to the Lamanites. And then, they all get along really good. Everybody that goes into the land of Zemahemla. Now, then Mosiah ends up dying, and then they all start fighting again. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it was. I mean, it was kind of cool because, like I said, every time somebody does come in, hey, they start doing good. They start, getting along. They start getting blessed. They start getting, money. They start getting everything. Somebody comes and screws it up. God has to step in again, get somebody else. And then they screw it up again. And then they, it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And like I said, so that was pretty much the whole book of Mosiah. I enjoyed it because it reminded me of just life, when shit gets good, and then bam, shit gets bad, and shit gets good, and shit gets bad. So sorry to say there's a lot of characters in it. If you're interested in it, suggest you read it. So, alright, man. That's all I got. It's my opinion on the whole book of Mosiah. So, that's my opinion. You take it or you leave it. Boom.